sitting, considering they lost their first attempt? Or do you think that that's going to affect them to the point where KZ might now actually come out from underneath them and just rip it away?
And whether 4AM will get a redemption that they, were hoping for after an absolutely shellacking that was really dished out to them by 4AM to really bring back, considering they've got their answers. They've learned their mistakes. An HLL coming out of 4AM, and it's double 93R as well to bring on in Kiar and Ghost as well, deciding to run that. Resident side of player, a Shaq 50 on the side of KZ though. I didn't really get to spot exactly what we were looking to run, but I would imagine it would be very much similar. Another HLL, or pardon me, no, HLM to bring on out. Now we get actually the potential answer for the question as to, well, what will counter that HLL playstyle?
Yeah, consistent of Monaco. First engagement's always going to be off a height, and it's basically just going to be who can win the height first. Now, in the 3v3 format, it's a little bit different in terms of how things run. You need control of the church because then you can delegate what is happening in terms of the rest of the map. If you can control where everything is going to go down, you can manipulate spawn points. They have made that a little bit harder, mind you. You need 2 people, I think, in the vicinity now compared to the original 1. But if they can find a kill here, especially with that F car in play, they are going up against 2 lights. So if they can get the damage and put them on timer, it'll give them a really good point to maybe dive on in. But Hewley Rice, look at him go. He's all the way up. He's RPG'd right here, ready to go. The boys have called it in. They've broke the dome shield, but they got mesh in play as well. Winch denied completely. Has to drop off. But this is where the push comes to shove. KZ, force 4AM off height. Now they're in the better position. Gateway back to flank though, Cthulhu.
Oh, huge. And the gunfight already kicks it all off though. It's instantly straight after that 4AM do back away. They decide that, yeah, well, let's try to pressure them, but seeing as there's still quite a fair bit of a high ground set up, deciding to back away, deciding to go for the vault, potentially go for the flank around, and the KZ might be a little bit, late to the party. I say that though, well, the heavy is taking quite a fair bit of damage. Player is, unfortunately for him, unable to really make much of a progress, and it's back to just playing in the trenches here.
The vault hasn't... Oh, okay, don't worry. The vault has been touched now, and will ultimately start to unlock. KZ kicking that off and giving themselves away just a little bit, but that's the risk you have to run, unfortunately, if you want to get the game kicked off. Lights going to town on each other right now, but it's Ghost to fall. UQI finds the first, and this is the opener that KZ needed. If they choose to want to chase it, they can do that if they please, but ultimately 4AM have opted to go for the run. They want to grab it. No, sorry, they're not opting to go for the run. They're opting to deny. They want to waste some time. We've seen this today already a couple of times. Hang on! Diving in, RPG in hand, pants on the floor. Agana's found one, and ultimately Hewley Rice has come on in to save the day. This is going to be a full wipe.
Oh,
wow. The Bolt out of position with a little bit of time wasted. I mean, look, they get a little bit of pennies for their troubles, but ultimately it is not the full Monty Cthulhu. They lose the team fight. It took a little while, about 3 minutes, but ultimately that's a good win for KZ.
Yeah. Though, mind you, the very same matchup against Mongwason would have been already, but would have seen already at least 2 more gunfights in that span of time. The sheer aggression that we got to see out of that roster was absolutely just... Oh man, it was a treat. Now we get to see a little bit more pace down. Now we get to see both teams sort of playing their own element. They know each other's meta. They know how the overall region plays. Look, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. It does provide a little bit more time for them to sort of think how to approach it. Makes the gunfights more meaningful rather than just outright an absolute thrashing, just no matter what, no matter where.
Yeah, it slows down the pace as well. And I think based on what we're seeing here again, Monaco showing its true colours. It's a difficult one to push because they could be in any building, Cthulhu, and I think that's the problem that they're running into right now. 4AM don't really know what they want to push. They could be close to A. They could not be. They could be somewhere else. But Gateway's movement is going to be huge here. Having the flank ability. I mean, we've already seen it once from KZ. UQI is caught and punished, but ultimately not taken down. Excuse me, Ghost. Does manage to get away.
Maybe.
4 a.m. They're looking for something. They want to go for the steal. They've pulled them away, and that's a great bit of kiting there from KZ. But ultimately, sorry, from 4 a.m. But ultimately,
hello, yeah, 4 a.m.
Yeah, they've lost it. My apologies.
Yeah. Shut it all down. Huili Rice is the one to keep things in the rolling, to keep on clearing out. The shotgun just ringing out an absolute just damage, really. And in the meantime, yeah, look, plus 25k is looking to get deposited in 4 a.m. Really don't have much of an opportunity here either. I believe that should still come through in full capacity. And otherwise, UQI has a really solid vantage point, and yeah, the cash out does come on through without much of a issue. And there we go, that's the first score done and dusted. Now, problem being 4 a.m. had such a close opportunity here to really make a steal that now they are back to ground zero. Now they need to go in for the push, and in comes the RPG. Say hi to my little friend.
Unfortunately, little friend not doing too much damage there. Some great tracking. Good little bit of damage. It was actually Argan to come out on the worst side of that original altercation. Mind you, this team fight's going to be pretty slow, Cthulhu. Both sides wanting to go for this vault, considering where it spawned. It spawned very out of the way for KZ, considering they'd already retreated. Hello? Okay, Kiar's been pretty sharp today, but apparently not right there. And a full wipe for KZ as well, mind you, off screen. Goes finding the last. 4 a.m. They had a really good spot there. I think that vault spawn sort of just unfortunately caught KZ out. They rotated middle. They wanted it to come more towards the church. They wanted to play that height that they already had access to. And ultimately, it just spawned in behind them. It was a bit of a 50-50, really, and 4 a.m. just got the better pull of the tail, and it put them in a great position. They had the height in front, mind you, that meant that KZ just had to come on over to them. And with that RPG not hitting, you lose a very valuable piece of utility, especially going up against the HLL. If you hit that RPG in a situation against a team that's running that setup, it can be the difference between an insta win and an insta loss. I mean, if you hit one direct with an RPG, it's pretty much insta kill. You just need a little bit of a tap on from one of your teammates. So that winch almost connecting was a little bit scary.
That would have been very much of a scary one, and that would have kicked off a series of unfortunate events as well, because a death of one of the lights here would be absolutely devastating, especially on the side of 4 a.m. as a player does fall. It's all down to Kiar to do anything, and he's trying to delay as much as possible. Actually still manages to dodge away, just buying enough time and managing to throw the box away as well, which is quite still a solid turnaround, trying to buy enough time. 16 seconds to go on the respawn, and well, maybe now we get to see the run happen on the side of KZ, as they're the ones in advantage here. They're the ones in the position to try to make the play. And throw is actually quite clean. We are good.
Yeah. Look at the denial, though. They've managed to respawn, and we still haven't even had a plug yet. We might get one more fight over this vault, depending on how quick. No, we should. No, we won't. They'll get a plug off just in time here for B, but it's not going to be very well defensively set up. Shout out to Apo jumping on in with the gang, bringing the finals community closer together. But we actually spoke about your team pre-stream, Apo. We were talking about Akazo and the D50s. Cthulhu was asking me about that, and I said, but in the terms of Akazo and co, there is an exception. Mind you, not in this matchup right now. That's America. We're in APAC. And look, 4 a.m., they're going super slow, Cthulhu. They don't want to get too close to the beast right now.
Yeah, not at all. Trying to find a very measured time, though. The problem being, Proto, we got to see Mame try to pull the same thing, and they got burned really, really badly. So right now, this is... I'm not entirely a fan of how passive this is, though I do appreciate, wanting to sort of reset, speak about it a little bit, but the time is ticking, the clock is ticking, and the deposit as well is starting to come on through. There is some presence up above, and I'm not too sure if the RPG will be enough. Unfortunately, no, it doesn't really bring as much of a dividend as one would have hoped, and now it's a full-on isolation. Perfect poke by UQI, and getting the heck out as well out of the position. Is a perfect dodge and play around, ring around the rosy here as the first gunfight come on through. The lights are engaging. Ghost is low as well. Kiar is trying his absolute darn best to keep on throwing spanners into work and just staying alive as Ghost takes yet another bit of damage. Ghost is gone. 2 more players remaining. 4 a.m. not particularly too healthy. And Huili Rice is the one that catches the stray at the end of it all, though. A player trying to keep on kicking, but it is just a swarm of KZ players without any repercussions or any issues whatsoever.
And Cthulhu, based on the back of that, a 15-second spawn time, there's nothing they can do. KZ have ultimately come into this and walked away with probably arguably one of the easier victories, but I will say that Monaco makes it difficult. 4am tried their best, but unfortunately it just wasn't in the cards for them. That was a round over before it even happened. And to that third vault today, unfortunately. And as much as I'd love to see it, I'm also not really surprised necessarily. So for 4am, you got to hope for a little bit more.